Coming up on the ADCs of wrestling, why should Brock Lesnar watch Monday Night Raw? Plus, we discuss who had the best heel moment of the week between Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, or The Miz. But first, an announcement from Totally Not AJ Styles.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Yeah. Hey, this is Ray J Miles. Totally Not AJ Styles. You know, Samoa Joe, he called me out saying, or called AJ out saying that he's probably not a great family man and whatever. I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb saying I'm just a big AJ Styles fan. He was probably hanging out with his family. That's why he wasn't on the show. You know, I mean, he would have totally been there if he were, you know, if he weren't hanging with his family, being a good husband, being with his wife and stuff, not playing Xbox backstage in a rented Escalade in Tampa Bay or wherever you guys were, because I mean, he totally wasn't there. Samoa Joe, you don't want none of Ray J Miles. Why don't you coquina clutch these nuts, is what AJ would say if he weren't busy being the world's greatest family man or building a house or doing other things that are otherwise equally phenomenal, because he is phenomenal. Ray J, whatever. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's go! Oh, hell yeah! Are you ready for a show with questionable wrestling impressions by a guy I know? It's gotta, yeah. ADC! Ooh, yeah, dig it! ADC! Let me tell you something, ADC! He watches wrestling! Matt the Mark is awesome, Michael! Do you know your ADCs, the ADCs of wrestling?
Welcome to the ADCs of wrestling. That was 100% totally. That had to be AJ Styles. There's no way that was not AJ Styles.
It definitely was.
I'm your host, Andrew David Cox, the Weird Al of wrestling, if you will, and I'm joined once again by my co-host extraordinaire, Matt the Mark. How you doing, Matt the Mark?
Very extraordinary.
You made the pilgrimage again out to the house that ADC built, along with one Ray J Miles.
Apparently. I'm pretty sure that was AJ.
Yeah, that guy could swing a hammer, though. That's all I know.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You're a busy guy. You made it out here. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That's all right.
So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about some news from around the world of professional wrestling. Some sad news, unfortunately. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown Live. Raw was not great this week. SmackDown, very good. Of course, we have just 2 tweets. And I had a little snafu on YouTube this week, and we're going to talk about that whole fiasco.
Very excited to talk about that.
Just talking about dicks.
You're super happy about it.
Yeah, very questionable content on my YouTube channel, apparently. First and foremost, obviously, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the passing of Brian Lawler, or you know him as Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexay. Really sad story about him going to jail for DUI and then taking his own life. A guy who's always had his own, you know, his demons, his drug issues, and unfortunately, I guess he decided it was his time to go, and he took his own life. So, not a nice story. Speculation was, you know, that he had passed. We didn't really know. Ryan Satin and other people were, you know, trying to keep us abreast of the information, and unfortunately, he did pass away after finally getting a chance to, well, his family and them getting a chance to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, it sounded like his father, Jerry Lawler, got a chance to actually sit there beside him when I guess when the time came, and he said he was holding his hand and stuff. So it's always sad. It always sucks.
Always sucks.
You just never know what people are dealing with, you know?
No, I know. And he was, what was he? He was like 49, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or 46.
Yeah,
46.
He had a lot of life left in him, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you think of being a wrestler, and you get to that kind of age where you think maybe you have one more run, you have another run, and then you kind of start realizing maybe it is actually over. And this is pure speculation, but you never know what's going through people's heads and how it's affecting them. And, you know, we just saw him in 2014 at that, I think it was Raw 2000 with Scotty 2 Hotty, and I guess that was it. Some touching tributes from Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi on social media, pictures of their last performance together, and kind words about the guy. And then Jerry going as far as to say that he thinks that there was more afoot than meets the eye. So
not going to touch that.
No,
There's no point.
I don't know if I buy that or not.
Just let this guy rest. He's, you know, finally at peace, whatever it may be. You know, just rest in peace.
Sad story. Jerry and Brian never had the greatest relationship either, so I'm sure there's some feelings of guilt there, and
absolutely.
Really just kind of a sad story all around. Funny kind of story. My first memory in wrestling of live shows is my buddy Greg and I went to see a show at the ACC where we actually got to see Too Cool wrestle. The main event was like Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, and a triple threat, and it was a fun show.
Yeah.
But at one point, I think Too Cool took on like, I don't know, Edge and Christian and maybe somebody else. But we went out to the merch stand and we bought the little Too Cool chain on like the little silver fake plastic chain.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, the yellow wraparound Oakley knockoffs, and we looked fly that day, Maddie.
You were a little hip hopper, were you?
Oh yes, yes, we looked fly today.
You know, it's funny because even when we were in college, and this is you might be embarrassed by this, but I remember having a few wobbly pops, and you and a couple of your buddies would get white guy rapping and
white guy wasted.
White guy wasted started freestyling. It was yeah. I remember those days.
I could spit some bars, but I think I've shown that with my Rusev Day-ish.
Kind of works with your
Monster in the Bank.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm no stranger to spitting bars, my friend. Okay?
Doesn't
the
make
5
you less
greatest
nerdy.
rappers of all time are ADC, 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 and Dylon.
Oh.
Dylon was dope.
My
You gotta
God.
get Dylon in there. He was dope. Another sad story, obviously, great segue into this, but
Wow, yeah.
Nikolai Volkov, legendary performer.
Yeah, another tough one.
He unfortunately passed away as well over the weekend. Him, 70 years old, so more of a natural passing. But
Bit of a different story for sure.
yeah, still sad. A guy who was, you want to talk about the blueprint for the modern foreign heel, the Jinder Mahal, the Rusev, the foreign countrymen coming in. Please stand for the singing of the Russian Soviet national anthem. Just classic stuff. He was involved in the first ever WrestleMania. He was a tag team with the Sheik for a long time, the Bolsheviks. I mean, just a real classic wrestler who was around for a long time.
Yeah, he was around for a long time. And even though it's unfortunate circumstances, I really like that you get to see the impact that these, legends had on today's roster, and you see them posting pictures of themselves with him backstage, whether it was this year, last year, or whatever. Just out of remembrance and I mean, it always sucks that this is when this type of stuff comes out, but as a fan, it's great to see that he was always kind of around and had some sort of effect or something on the current roster.
A guy who was still kicking around sometimes backstage at Classic Raws, and then would be at conventions on the circuit and stuff like that. So anyway, rest in peace to Brian Lawler and Nikolai Volkov.
Absolutely.
A little sad story, but we'll remember you both fondly. Last week I had a parody video called Stunner's Back.
Which one was that?
You know which one it was.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I've listened to it so many times.
Favorable response from the foundation. People saying it might have been the best one I've ever made, which is crazy.
I think I said that on the show last week, and I fully stand behind that.
I made mention of this reaction to friend of the show, Big Sexy Matty Hayes, and his response was better than Braun. I said, well, time will tell. Time will tell.
Got to get the full version out there, right?
I don't want to be held to the Braun Strowman standard for the rest of my life. I got to break that somehow at some point. So hopefully, I haven't had time yet to make a second verse or, another chorus or finish the actual song or start the video, but I'm hoping that before week's end, it will be up on my YouTube channel.
What YouTube channel is that, Andrew?
However, I had a bit of an issue with YouTube or Google or whatever you want to call it, whilst attempting to rebrand to the ADCs of wrestling. I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that was going to be my approach. I'm going to go under one umbrella. It's all going to be the ADCs of wrestling.
Yep. Which is a good idea.
Yes.
Still stand by that.
It's all done through Google+. It's called Andrew David Cox on Google+.
Yeah.
But I wanted to change that to the ADCs of wrestling, which I did a few weeks ago and changed back because I just thought, no, not yet. It's not time. I don't have the correct branding, the artwork, whatever.
How many changes do you get, Andrew?
Well, apparently you're only allowed 3. So when I went in and did it a few days ago, I was like, now's the time. I finally have a new graphics package from my man Jay. It's going to look fly. The ADCs of wrestling is going to be one brand. It's going to, be all-encompassing. You're going to know where to go for good wrestling comedy.
I bet you double-checked what you wrote.
Totally didn't.
Yeah.
And I put in the ADCs of wrestling in first name, and I forgot to delete Cox from surname. So now my YouTube channel is called the ADCs of Wrestling Cox for an undetermined amount of time. It says changed too recently when I try to change it. It says only 3 changes per 90 days.
Now,
I don't remember how long ago I made the first change, but it's not more than a month.
You've contacted support about this, of course.
Many a time.
Yeah, how's that
however,
going?
there is no support for YouTube.
Come on.
There's just a faceless channel of user help, user forum bullshit. So thanks, YouTube, for making yourself so available to comment, and thank you for helping me out in this, this topic. The only response I got was from one guy saying, because of spammers, it's not possible to circumvent the 90-day rule. And this was just another YouTube video creator. So for the next probably 60 days, maybe longer, it's stuck as the ADCs of Wrestling Cocks, which sounds like a channel about dick wrestling.
It certainly does. And I know how annoyed and upset you are with this.
Oh, I was livid.
But to me, from the outside, this is hilarious, and it couldn't have been any better.
It's hilarious to everybody except for me. The problem is, if I'm to upload this Steve video this week and it gets picked up by media outlets and whatnot, if they don't talk to me first, they're probably going to be like, check out this hilarious video by the ADCs of Wrestling Cocks.
I mean,
which is
the more you say it, the more
ideal.
It makes me laugh.
It's super funny, and there's a funny story behind it, so maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. All I know is I reached out to YouTube many a time and got very little in return. Hold on. I'm just checking my email here.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
What do you got?
Okay, apparently YouTube has taken it upon themselves to remix the end of my podcast theme. This is a direct quote. To more accurately reflect your channel's name. Okay, I did not authorize this.
Okay, that's interesting.
This is, what the hell is this?
Not the fix you're looking at.
Okay, let me play the first one here.
Do you know your ADCs, the ADCs of Wrestling Cocks?
Oh no. I didn't authorize this. How did they even get my voice for this?
How did they do that?
It's a digital world, my friend. It's really, that's scary. Okay, I think that, I mean, that's a direct, exact translation, but that is not. That's not what I want to perpetuate.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to perpetuate that name, YouTube. So
we're not going to run with that, right? Like
no, we're certainly not.
You're going to delete that.
Yeah, I'm going to delete that. That's never going to be played again, and that's not going to help. That's going to perpetuate this terrible name and mistake that I've had.
Well, I'm hoping that's the only one they created.
I think no. Actually, there's another one here. Hold on. No. You know what? I'll play the second. Maybe the second one's a little better.
Okay. All right.
There's no way they literally think it's about Wrestling Cocks.
Do you know the YouTube channel all about Wrestling Cocks?
Okay, that's exactly what they think it is. They totally think it's now about Wrestling Cocks.
Yeah, they're getting worse.
I'm going to get straight up thrown off YouTube.
Yep.
Because they're going to say that this is adult content and that it can't be up there.
This is PG-13 with all of our swear words.
I mean, this is probably karma for talking about the Balor Bulge so many times.
Yeah.
All about wrestling my Balor Bulge on the ADCs of Wrestling Dicks.
All right, well, just delete that one as well. Let's just be done with it.
Yeah, you know what? It's gone.
As long as they keep, as long as they're not sending more, that's fine.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I'm not even going to play the rest. I hope
there was more.
No, yeah, there's more, but I'm not going to play them.
Don't bother.
I'm not going to play them. I won't even give them to our producer to interweave into the rest of the show. They're gone. They're gone.
Good.
Let's talk about Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
Who won? I want to start with SmackDown this week because Raw. Yeah. Aside from Brock Lesnar, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Really.
Fair enough.
In your opinion.
Yeah.
Who wins heel of the week? Because SmackDown featured 3 very strong heel performances from 3 very talented players.
Yep.
I want to talk about The Miz and Daniel Bryan first.
Okay.
I was watching with a lapsed fan. I was kind of explaining who The Miz is, what his whole deal is.
Sure.
And about like 2 minutes into his promo, he looks at me, he's like, I think I like this Miz guy. I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, yes, you do like this Miz guy. He's kind of the closest thing to a Ric Flair in this day and age. He doesn't have the swag that Ric Flair has, but it's the fancy suit. It's the verbal, abusiveness, the gift of gab, if you will, as I like burp on mic here. Sorry.
You know what it is that, I mean, obviously my fondness of The Miz is well documented on previous episodes. It seems like this guy doesn't have a script, nor does he probably even have pointers. I feel like this is one of those guys, along with Samoa Joe, that are just like, you know what? Do your thing because it's probably going to be better than whatever we write down. And
I wonder if they give him that kind of long leash.
I mean, other than the end of it with the babies crying, which was brilliant and hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
I think what's great about Miz is he always kind of brings real life into it. Always brings real life into every feud he's had. He always brings it in, which makes it feel real and feel more, I don't know, important.
Well, last week I asked you, are you worried that they didn't hit on the talking smack segment between Daniel and The Miz from last year yet, and that they haven't really broached that topic yet. But I think it worked really well this week because we understand why Daniel came out last week. We get that he still has that, bubbling underneath the surface. He's just boiling about it still. And for, The Miz to talk about how he's like carried Daniel Bryan and how Daniel didn't do anything about it before. He's like saying, you just want this.
Yeah.
You want face to face, us locked in conflict forever. I think was so good and just so intense.
Well, even just alluding
I really,
to the
really
fact,
enjoyed the segment. I think Daniel Bryan and The Miz are doing great work.
This is perfect because I didn't want just a quick payoff to what they did a year and a half ago.
No, and keep them apart. Like to keep coming out on TV together is way too much.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think this was perfect this week. Keep him out like backstage because he wasn't on set, let's be honest.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just he's just always so good, and I like this slow burn. I almost hope they don't wrestle it at SummerSlam because I want this to go further. Or even if they
they're
do,
wrestling at SummerSlam.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they
You're
are. I just want it
ridiculous.
to keep going. I want it to be slower. These little segments are so friggin' perfect for this feud because the feud before could only be talking. So I want that to leak out a little bit more before there's actual like physicality in a match.
Right. Now, I think this is exactly where we want it to be.
It's so good.
Moving on.
Yes.
The subject matter of this podcast is guys wrestling with their dicks.
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Who's playing those?
Stop it.
They're getting worse.
The subject matter of this podcast is not guys wrestling with their dicks.
It is not.
It's WWE Pro Wrestling dick free. I mean, I'm a dick. You're a dick. We're a couple of dicks
that's
talking about
personal,
wrestling.
though. Yeah.
But that's subjective.
God.
Who's doing this? YouTube? Stop it.
It's literally just you and me here.
I
You're
don't
the
know what's going
producer.
on. I don't know what's going on.
Ugh.
Maybe the Undertaker's doing it or something. He's got mystical powers. He's always kind of hanging out in the wings, trying to get back on the pod.
It's Basement Steve.
I bet it probably fucking is Basement Steve. Basement Steve?
What the fuck?
What are you doing with the podcast?
What the hell are you talking about? I'm trying to work on verses for Stunner's back.
Well, that's productive.
Well, at least he's doing something.
Yeah, at least he's doing
Anyways,
something.
all right. Well, delete that one and let's move on.
I'm just down here chilling. What? You understand? What? Comprende? What? Capiche? What?
Okay.
Okay.
That was completely irrelevant. Let's talk about Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
He calls AJ Styles a bad father and a bad husband. And we got that retort off the top of the show from totally not AJ Styles or AJ Miles.
That's true. That is true. I think what's so great about Samoa Joe is what he's saying is, sure, I mean, that's a cool heel thing to do.
It's the delivery.
It's the delivery. He's sitting
I knew
in
where
the
you were
middle
going
of the
there.
ring, kind of crouched on a stool with one leg, and he's just cool.
Let's
and
be honest, I
calm.
respect AJ Styles.
He's just so cool. And then when he just all of a sudden breaks into super intensity, he's so natural and it's so good. Oh man, and I can picture the belt on his shoulder. Like just seeing him sitting there delivering this promo, I can
Totally.
picture the belt on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Which is tough because I like AJ with the belt, but my God.
I don't think he's going to get it.
I don't think so.
think he's
Not
gonna
right
get it.
away. Not right away. I think it's going to go on a little further.
He is fantastic, but he needs that towel to towel off after that fire promo that he cuts because it's
course.
just sweating balls.
Of course.
Because it's so hot. It's that hotness.
It is amazing. All he's doing is sitting there talking, and then by the end of it, he's just drenched. The lights.
Yeah.
It's the lights, right?
Well,
It's
you know
the
what?
arena lights.
He probably douses himself in water before going out there.
Maybe.
Ironically, AJ at this time was probably with his family because he was home selling the injury. So he's probably at home with his kids, with his wife, totally not playing video games in a rented Escalade backstage in Tampa Bay.
It's still just so good, like how SmackDown keeps finding a way within 2 weeks to make this like a legitimate feud where you're locked in.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want to see this match.
I'm locked in like a coquina clutch, my friend.
Oh, nice.
This is one hell of a feud,
Nice.
and I'm very interested in this.
I
I
didn't
think
even
they're going to
mean-
have a fantastic match at SummerSlam.
I think so. I don't think it's going to end at SummerSlam. I think it's going to go on.
No, keep it going.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got to do something the week
Absolutely.
after, the month after, whatever the hell shitty pay-per-view it's going to be. Who knows? No Way Out or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
Great balls of fire. Randy Orton is a psychopath again. Thank God.
I love it. And one of the whole, or at least the best part of this for me was that he didn't give the fans what they wanted in that RKO.
That was great.
He looked at the fans and basically was like, nope.
Yeah.
Loved
Just to trip him up by the legs. That's like heel 101 is to,
So good.
if the crowd's going to cheer it, don't do it.
Absolutely.
Don't do it if the crowd's going to cheer it. You just can't. That's what you have to do. And by the way, rest
In peace to Jeff Hardy's earplug.
Man, Jeff's been taking a beating the last couple weeks.
He's just been getting just messed around in the ear hole.
Yeah. They're vicious too. Like I was on Twitter and I don't know who retweeted it or whatever, but this father wrote a note and his son's favorite wrestler is Jeff Hardy and he's this young kid and you know, if it's going to be this violent, my son's crying, I can't watch wrestling anymore. It's like, well, I mean,
that's kind of what wrestling is, dude.
Like it's
that's kind
PG,
of the whole point.
But it's a violent entertainment piece of entertainment.
It says right off the top of it on Sportsnet in Canada, the following program is violent in nature. Yeah. That's the whole point of it.
So I don't know.
It's competitive sport in combat.
As an adult, I love these beatdowns.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I love how, I don't want to say gruesome, but how like vicious they are. And he's not doing anything crazy where he's throwing them. Well, I guess he did throw him up against the stairs last week.
Yeah.
But he's not tossing him around. He's literally just getting on top of him.
And he's not
pounding
bleeding
him.
or anything. It's interesting that happened because this is fairly tame based on what we know
Absolutely.
from a WWE standard. But
even just wiping his makeup off. Like,
yeah, it was great.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
You think you're an enigma? You're so mysterious, Jeff Hardy? Take your fucking stupid makeup and stick it up your ass.
I like to all of a sudden care about Randy Orton again in a span of like 2.5 weeks is awesome.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. It sort of came out of nowhere. See what it did there? Came out of nowhere. Sorry.
I hate you.
Yeah. I hate you too, man.
Cool.
We're good friends, right?
Yep.
Anyway.
So who's your favorite out of the three?
Out of what three?
Like those three
Oh,
heels.
the
Who do you
heels.
think's running the best heel?
Well,
it's tough. I know this is kind of a you can't lose here.
No, I know. And I kind of forgot about Orton when I was tweeting about it last night. As good as the Daniel Bryan Miz stuff was, I think the Samoa Joe promo was my favorite part of the show.
Absolutely.
Just to call him out and say that he's a bad husband and father,
Yeah.
it's like, that's mean.
And just with the calmness of it, too. That's like, I don't want to take away from what Miz and Randy Orton are doing, but for me, that Joe just by himself, there was no interruption. He just calmly went about it and left the ring. Like,
There's no doubt about it, man.
SmackDown is so good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's totally a dick.
Exclusively discussing wrestling dicks.
No.
Oh,
Stop
my
it.
God. Where are these coming from?
Do not take that as this being a channel about talking about wrestling dicks. I called Samoa Joe a dick. That's different. Okay? Stop it, YouTube bot. Like, this is on Podbean right now.
How many are there?
Somehow YouTube is taking control of my Podbean podcast.
Oh, boy.
It's got my voice.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what's happening.
I have
Let's
a feeling.
breeze through the rest of the show
Let's just
because
try
I
and get
can't
through
deal with
this.
this. It's throwing me off my
Yeah.
game. I'm not happy right now.
What were we even talking about now? I don't even remember.
Let's talk about Charlotte. She's joined the SmackDown Women's title match at SummerSlam.
This is getting a lot of heat online.
Is it really?
Not so much for her being back, but for Becky now having...
Losing her spot?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but then you get to see Becky backstage watching the television at a very awkward angle, as people tend to do.
Always.
Obtuse angles are the best viewing angles. And
I like
she
this.
is unhappy about it.
I like this.
This is perfect because here's what I think. This is a great way to set up Becky versus Charlotte at WWE. Evolution is a pay-per-view.
Absolutely. And all the people online bitching and complaining about this...
They don't see the big picture.
You got to see the big picture here. This is easily... I hope Charlotte wins. Honestly, I hope Charlotte wins, and it's Becky that goes absolutely insane.
How seriously excited could we be for Becky Lynch versus Carmella at SummerSlam?
No.
The fact that Charlotte's in this match now is adding another talented body who deserves to be there into a match where her and Becky Lynch can go at odds. Can be at odds.
So excited.
They can butt heads, whatever.
I think...
Charlotte looked good in her return.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. She was going to.
Carmella didn't look that great, but Carmella had a couple nice little spots where it looks like she's practiced them, and then other times she just kind of looks like she doesn't know what she's doing. But she's improving.
I'm not a wrestling pro. It just seems like she doesn't know how to take a bump.
Okay.
She either takes whether it's the big boot or what was it off the top rope. Charlotte did the sledgehammer punch thingy there,
right?
And
Double axe handle.
Carmella's already moving and falling before Charlotte gets there, and and
that's
you
a
can
pet
clearly
peeve of
see
mine
her
in
miss.
wrestling.
That drives me nuts.
Cena
Take
does
it
that
on the
too, though,
skull.
man. John Cena's the worst for that.
Yes.
He'll take a spinning heel kick and he'll fall down a minute before it gets to him.
So, I mean, it's just little things like that for Carmella. I like her character. I like all that. I don't want to slag on her like everyone else does. But it's things like that where, like, even on the drop kick, she's going down before the drop kicks, and that's just dangerous for anyone who's actually trying to hit that kick. So I think this is it for Carmella. She's definitely going to lose at SummerSlam. There's no way she gets through Becky.
I think it's kind of a failed experiment, right? Yeah. Like, what did you think of the little promo beforehand where she was clearly playing nice? I kind of forgot. I was waiting for the other.
Oh, you knew what was going to happen. You knew this was all just a play.
Well, it's boring as hell if it wasn't. I was like, if this is Carmella's new character, God save us all, because it is boring.
I didn't think it was going to be a new character. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit of a longer play where for a second, I was like, oh, this would actually be great if she just left it like this.
Right.
And just left the ring and just leave everyone confused. Because I think that would have been compelling story-wise.
It's like, why'd she have to come out with a 20-minute diatribe just to attack Becky Lynch from behind?
Long. Yeah.
She could just do that backstage anytime.
Exactly.
She doesn't have to come out there and do that.
I mean, it makes sense with Charlotte coming back. I kind of forgot Charlotte was healthy and was supposed to be back. So
she was just off TV fixing her implants, wasn't she? It was just that little, like the boob implant surgery.
Yeah, and then she was doing a lot of press tour stuff. Same with Sheamus.
Oh, yeah. She was
Cesaro.
at like the ESPYs and...
So, completely off topic, but remember
let's talk about the bar and the New Day next week.
Yeah, I was just... It's just... Last week I said, did like Sheamus and Cesaro just get the World Cup off? Apparently they did.
Oh, really?
They did a press tour for WWE across the world.
Oh.
Talking about the World Cup and being at certain events. And so apparently, yes, they got the World Cup off.
Interestingly enough, the week before, I guess it was probably just last week's show, they were actually on the dark match. I watched the back hall at work, so I can see the dark match before, just the end of it usually.
Yeah.
This week, Titus O'Neil pinned Mike Kanellis on SmackDown in the dark match before the show. Very interesting and strange. But
Titus O'Neil?
Yep.
Was that SmackDown?
Pinned
well, I guess
Kanellis.
they were both in Florida, so.
Yeah, whatever. He's just there. Who knows?
2 Raw guys on SmackDown. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the next week, we're going to get the Bar versus the New Day in this tag tournament situation.
How great was that match, though?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Like, it was so good.
But what did you think of the New Day's commentary for the match?
Also so good. It was their reactions with the cereal and how they'd always put it at like the picture in picture.
They were like JRing. They're just like, no, I want to move, no. So the weird thing is, this is so very like meta, because if they're only going to them occasionally and sounding them up, who are they broadcasting to when they're not on camera? They're just broadcasting for themselves.
Do you think they were just broadcasting the entire time, not knowing when they would throw to them?
Yes, I think so.
Here's the other thing that I thought was very weird. That table was set up the whole time.
Yeah.
And then when they come out here, they look beside them, like,
pancakes.
They look beside them, Michael Cole and Graves, and they're like, oh, they've got their own desk. It's like, okay, that's been set up the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
open your eyes, Saxton.
Just look left.
Yeah, dumbass.
They moved you over.
Yeah.
A great match, and I actually feel bad for the Usos because I kind of want them back in the main picture. They're so freaking good.
I know. Makes me sad too.
Yeah.
But whatever. The bar are good, but I'm kind of over watching them go for titles. I'm just not that interested. I would much rather see the Usos get another shot.
The same.
I know Usos New Day has been done to death, but I'd still watch it forever.
Yeah, I don't know who comes out of this. Like, who's going to face the Bludgeon Brothers?
I don't know.
And do you even care?
Like Bludgeon Brothers versus the Bar? Probably not. That's
They've bored me. Like, the Bludgeon Brothers have bored me.
I'm assuming it's just going to be Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day again, because they still kind of have unfinished business after like WrestleMania. They got their asses beat down by them. I don't know. I'm not going to let Steve weigh in on the Bludgeon Brothers this week.
Please don't.
What?
I said I'm not letting you weigh it. Forget about it.
All right, go fuck yourself.
He's very ornery today.
He's
just
busy.
swearing.
He's a busy guy. He's trying to come up with new lyrics.
He's trying to, derail my pod by sabotaging me and getting stuff made on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. Zelina Vega, Lana. Random thing to go to next, but we were just talking about the women on SmackDown and how they've improved. I want to know what you thought of Lana's performance against Zelina Vega, whom, by the way, we brought up last week asking if she was ever going to wrestle.
Yeah, I know.
And then she showed up in a match.
I'm telling you, they watch or they listen to our show.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that happens the week after we talk, it happens on the next week.
This is the award-winning podcast that ain't won a damn thing.
I was expecting more. There's no way around it. I was expecting more.
From Lana?
From both of them, really.
I thought Lana did admirably.
She did okay.
Match.
I don't know.
Compared to what we've seen from Lana, which was hot garbage a few months ago.
I don't know. I just... I think my expectations were higher for Vega.
Okay.
And I thought she could carry the match a little bit more.
You got to have a good dance partner, though, bro.
For sure. And I think that's what... I think just my expectations were too high, so I wasn't as impressed. Maybe if I go back and watch it, with
she can whip around in there. You can get her in there with somebody like a Naomi or a Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And she can throw down some
Absolutely.
dope Hurricane Ranas, and she's so tiny.
She's
like
way
she's
smaller
like up
than
to
I
the
thought.
shoulder of Lana.
Yeah.
She is a small. I bet she's smaller than Alexa Bliss. She's a tiny individual.
You know what? Maybe it'd be pretty close.
She's T-tiny, as they like to say.
But
on,
I don't know. I like
Something to Wrestle.
they're teasing up this split of Rusev Day. Obviously, Rusev's not going to choose Aiden over Lana. So.
No, I find it weird. Like, how did English's interaction in this match cause Lana to lose?
Well,
did he knock her off the top somehow?
No.
The camera did not do a good job.
No,
of
he
covering
knocked
this.
Almas off,
And then Lana fell
watched
down?
it, and then there was a roll up.
Yeah.
It kind of almost the exact same as Rusev, except without like Rusev getting bumped or something.
So I have something to say about this, but here's my take on Lana in the ring right now. Lana clearly, very clearly, has some spots where she's memorized them, and they look very good.
Yeah.
I can't recall exactly what it was, but there was a sequence over by the one side of the ring, the right side of the ring, where she kind of did like either like a little flip around cartwheel or something into the corner, and it looked fine. But then other times when she is trying to position herself for moves, it's very deliberate. You could see her trying to get into position. She looks a little awkward, like she doesn't quite know what to do with her body. So obviously she's still
training,
super green. But I did see some improvement there, so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt in that respect. But I don't think she's going to be challenging Becky Lynch or Charlotte for the throne anytime soon.
She's out there for the cheap pop, and she's having fun. And
I don't even know if I could say she's better than Carmella, because I don't think she is.
No, she's not. And I don't think her character isn't anywhere near as good as Carmella's either. So
her accent is fully gone, by the way.
Yeah, thank God. I'm okay with it.
So gone.
I'm fine. As long as she's not going back and forth, I'm okay with it.
I still want somebody to start a Twitter account for Lana's accent. Figure out what's it doing these days. Where's Lana's accent now? Just hanging out in Bulgaria? Did it go back to Russia? Is it on the set of High School Musical 4 or Pitch Perfect? What's it doing? You know? So backstage, Lana and Rusev interacting. This gave me just like post-traumatic stress flashbacks, because you know that moment when you're like talking to your wife or your significant other, your girlfriend, and you realize like you started the argument and you totally had a good point,
but you
realize at that point that it's come back around and all of a sudden you're in trouble.
Yep.
And you're thinking to yourself, you're like, oh, fuck, she's right.
Damn it.
Like, damn it, I'm wrong now.
Damn it.
And now I have to stick to my guns because I was angry for like a good reason. I thought it was a really good reason. And now, like, she's like, well, you were being a jerk, and I could have used your support out there, so fuck you for being angry. Now you're the jerk. And you're like, shit, she's right.
Damn it, I lose.
This is totally what was happening to Rusev. I'm like, oh, no, Ruru. It's gone too far. You got angry. It was okay. They distracted last weekend, and now you weren't there for your wife, and now she's mad at you, and now you're in the doghouse, my friend. You got in trouble for her being in trouble.
We've all been there.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yep.
It's the worst. Happens to me all the time. You ever been there, Matty?
Oh, I think
you ever had that happen, Matty? JBL hasn't been on the show in a long time,
No,
Matty.
he hasn't.
Barely been around. I kind of forget about JBL because he's not on the show anymore.
Never on, actually.
No.
Well,
whatever. Well, he's on actually every single week at the very end of the show. He sits behind me breathing on the nape of my neck, and then when the show's finally over, he just says, ball game.
Is it my time? This is my time.
I've been sitting behind you, ADC, and now I'm going to say ball game.
Peace.
Greatest show I've ever heard.
We weren't there yet. Got it.
Yeah, no. Don't say peace now. It's not it. Anyway. We all know what the show's about anyway, right? So
ADC and Matt the Mark are gonna wrestle with their dicks.
We are not gonna wrestle with our dick.
No.
That's not what the show's about.
Holy God, how many did they make?
I don't know. I don't know how they just keep popping in. Like, it's almost like some recurring gag that
I don't even believe this is you.
The show.
I don't even believe you're doing this anymore.
No.
This is some sort of bot.
This is weird. This is really, really weird. Anyway. Meanwhile, on Raw, Brock Lesnar is an avid reader of Modern Frontiersman. Back at the Hall of Justice.
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. Justice League, the cartoon. Remember that? Okay. Super Friends or whatever the hell.
All right.
With Casey Kasem. You know that voice, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
I actually really like this for Brock. This was the one bright spot in Raw for me.
Brock was pretty funny.
He was speaking for himself.
Despite the fact that I eat a plant-based diet for the most part.
Nobody
offering
eats a steak
medium well for a guy like that,
off.
Brock Lesnar. What are you?
Get
the fuck
lives
out of
in
here.
a country in Canada, and you're eating a medium well steak.
You know what? Why don't you go get me a steak, medium well done, because I'm a bitch.
You know, I hope he did that just to further like his heelness.
Sure, yeah.
Knowing full well that nobody should eat a steak.
This will piss everybody off. I'm a big, tough frontiersman. I'm hunting, and I'm ordering steaks medium well done.
Yeah.
That'll make everybody angry.
I like that he changed magazines up between segments. I like that.
What was it? It was like Modern Frontiersman, and there was something else.
I don't remember.
Outdoorsman, or
it just the fact that he changed it was hilarious.
Fucking, I don't know, Skin Fur Wearers Anonymous.
Honestly, the best part was I don't watch the
killing
show.
animal enthusiasts.
Paul, you know I don't watch the show. Why would I watch the show?
Why would I watch Monday Night Raw?
So
it's
good.
A terrible show.
That was great. The ending for him was great to come out and basically say you got a problem and just attack.
Yeah,
I like that.
F5 and Kurt.
Yeah, going after Paul too. Like I just
where does this go? How do you feel about this? Paul Heyman and his client.
Well, it just obviously Brock's done, right? So they need something for Paul. So I'm assuming he's going to move on to someone else.
Do you think it's 100% done, or do you think Paul will be there just like trying not to piss off Brock, holding his neck, being like, I'm sorry, Brock, I'm sorry.
No, I
Don't
mean
be angry, Paul.
after SummerSlam. I don't think it's done now.
Oh,
I mean once
I
Brock's
see.
done in WWE after SummerSlam.
So you think he's going to be out there with his client, still advocating for the reigning, defending, whatever.
I stick to my guns that Brock will win at SummerSlam, and on Monday maybe that's when we see Paul turn.
You know, Roman Reigns, if he wanted to get Brock Lesnar out of the back, should have just played my song.
Yeah, maybe.
Hello. Would have been perfect.
Maybe.
Do you work here anymore?
I don't. This was the best thing for Brock. They actually got "We Want Roman" chants out of it.
I was gonna mention that. Like, we want Roman chants in the main event segment of Raw. Now, there was still some of the, wrestling dicks, to bring a callback there, out there saying, we want Roman. No, we don't. But
well, there was like the
a
Roman
lot of kids
sucks.
and a lot of people there were chanting, we want Roman.
The "We Want Roman" was way louder than the "Roman sucks" or the "No, we don'ts."
Right.
Which Vince is in the back just laughing. Like, this is exactly what he wanted. And maybe this whole segment with Lesnar was the perfect way to do it. Keep him away, have Kurt go ape shit on him, on Paul, have Roman come out and cut the exact same promo he cut a month and a half, 2 months ago, whatever it was. I mean,
we had a pretty good working punch on Baron Corbin backstage.
That was awesome, actually.
It was not bad.
I was pretty impressed. Didn't see it coming either, which was the best part of it. So.
I like that Corbin just came out later in the show, too, just like, fuck, whatever, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a tune-up match with Corbin on Raw next week between Roman Reigns and Corbin, but there's still that whole Corbin thing going on with Balor.
Yeah.
Do you care about that?
No, and I don't know where it's going. I don't see the point to it.
No.
I feel like it's just to get Balor TV time, and why is he losing?
I think it's just to get Balor TV time and to get Corbin more over.
I guess, but why is he losing? Why is Balor losing? There's no point to that.
I don't know.
You're literally just burying him.
Just to not pivot yet from the Brock Lesnar stuff.
Sure.
I just want to say, like, this kind of stuff, if they had just been doing this, nobody would have a problem with Brock Lesnar still being the champion. Like, yes, some people would be bored with the matches. It'd be, I guess it's still rinse, repeat. He comes out, he beats people up, Paul Heyman shouts about him, and it's Suplex City, whatever. But, like, if he occasionally had a match on Raw, and he kept beating people up and just being dangerous like this, being wild, ripping cars apart, doing funny velociraptor screeches, people wouldn't be so upset. It's the fact that he's completely absent and that the title is absent. That is what has pissed people off. So I think, as soon as you get Brock out there and actually have him doing something of value like this and furthering a story with Paul Heyman where it's not just static, it's not just completely boring and repetitive, you finally get some response. It's unfortunate that it's probably going to be paired with him leaving the UFC or for UFC.
For UFC, yeah.
But I guess that's why we got the reaction we got. I think that the modern wrestling fan is just like, just do something.
Well, and I think people in general are just kind of sick of him holding the belt.
But maybe they wouldn't be if this were happening every 2 weeks on Raw.
And even if he wasn't there, like, have Paul come out every once in a while and don't do a whole thing. Just be like, my client isn't here, or he doesn't want to be here, or he's not watching, blah blah blah. He doesn't need to be here to grace you. I liked this. I actually really liked what they did
this week.
This week,
not last week,
but
or the week before.
Like, just why did it have to take so long?
I don't know.
And I could have easily leaked this.
Why wouldn't Paul just be like up front? Why wouldn't he be like, Kurt just told me I'm fired if you don't go out to the ring?
Well, because he's a slimy
advocate
bastard
to be fired.
He's a slimy bastard, right? And I think Brock had kind of alluded to that. Would be like, you work for me.
Yeah.
I'm not your friend. Like,
Yeah,
you work
yeah.
for me, so I don't care if you get fired.
So
I'll
they
just find
sow
someone
the seeds
else.
of Brock being like, look, I'm here. I want my money.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the couch. I'd rather be at home.
Did you get the paycheck?
Yeah.
Did you get the
Do you
check?
get my money? Where's
Yeah.
my paycheck?
Yeah.
I want to be on my couch at home. We're
I
not
liked it.
friends.
I liked it. I like this whole thing, and I think it's setting up. I don't want him to lose at SummerSlam.
You and Roman go out there, just wrestle with your dicks, and I'll sit back here.
I just feel like if he loses this one time and then he's gone, it just cheapens everything. And I don't want that.
That's a hot take. To say that you want him to retain at SummerSlam is a hot take, I'll be honest.
And that's fine. And give me flack for it. But what's the better story? That he's wrestled Roman and beat the crap out of him 4 times and lost once, and now he's gone? Or that he just always beat Roman and then dropped the title or got cashed in on or whatever the hell it is, right?
I understand that.
Storyline-wise, it just makes more sense.
But then what do you do with Roman? For a guy to just keep failing,
Move
he could
him
never
out of the
climb the
title
mountain.
picture. It's easy.
That's
'cause
not what they want,
Your
pal.
next title picture is Braun and KO if KO wins that briefcase.
There's a lot of options at SummerSlam with the briefcase in
Just
play.
get the belt back
Especially
on
with
TV.
the briefcase itself being in play, could change hands, and then whoever wins
Yeah.
it could win the title. There's like,
But Brock's
that's
scheduled
like
to-
4 different guys that could be the champion by the end of the night.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing going
Which
in.
is cool. There's definitely some what ifs, but it's going to piss people off when that belt doesn't change hands that night. And why would
I
Brock
think
be
they're
on?
all red herrings.
Why would Brock be on Raw the next night if he doesn't have the belt? Is he coming to say thanks, goodbye? Probably not.
No, but maybe. You never know. You never know.
He's going to come out and all of a sudden be an okay guy and be like, hey, thanks for the time, guys.
Aside from this Brock Lesnar stuff, the very best part of Raw was Dolph Ziggler's hair. And
I
the
knew
continued
it.
excellence
I
of
knew
his
you were
pairing
going to love that
with
about
Drew
him.
McIntyre.
I knew that you were going to love the straight. I was watching this. I was thinking, oh man, guaranteed this is going to be on the show.
Totally surfer look for Miami. Like he surfed the arena.
Super heel.
There's
I love
no
it.
way he didn't surf the
Yeah.
arena. It was great.
Yeah.
And
Super
it is
heel.
heel. For some reason,
It's
when you have curly hair,
absolutely.
straightening it like that is
Yeah.
the most heel move
Because
you
you
could do.
look like a douche.
It's
There's
like
just
the-
no way to say it.
It's like the
nicely.
Cat Williams move. Just like, I don't want to like you now because of this hair. Like, when Snoop straightens his hair, you're just like, ugh,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
No,
I
it was
don't like
great. It works better than his curly hair with that silly smirk he has now too. The straight hair was perfect. I hope he keeps it, to be honest.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
I hope he does it for SummerSlam during the match because I want to see what it looks like at the end.
Aside from the music, and I know we just
Sure.
we're dying on that hill, the music hill, but it's finally sort of happening. Like the change in his look. I
Yeah.
know he's always worn tight jeans and stuff like this, but like the open shirt, the straight hair made such a difference.
Yeah.
Like now he looks like somebody I hate.
It was just
because
as
of that
simple as
friggin'
that.
hair.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was so good. But I mean, how freaking great was Drew McIntyre?
Amazing. Amazing.
I still am not convinced that this is going to be a one-on-one with Seth and Dolph. I don't know what
I'm
it's going
not
to
either
be.
because here's my thing with this. Do you not feel like a lot of the heat in this feud is between Rollins and McIntyre?
Yes, yeah.
McIntyre's the one who ruined his chance to get the IC title
Totally.
back at Extreme Rules in the Iron Man match. McIntyre's the entire reason that Ziggler is the IC champion. McIntyre is the guy.
Yeah.
So if anything, I feel like we're headed towards a big program between Seth and McIntyre.
Yep.
Which is already sort of in swing. But it just feels like that's where the heat is. And
Does it become-
Ziggler's almost on the peripheral, just like, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's got the belt, even though McIntyre's the whole
And now,
crux
does it
of the issue.
become a triple threat or a 2-on-1, or does somehow like Balor get into this feud because Seth saved him last week?
What if it becomes like a 4-man match and Dean Ambrose comes back or something? There's speculation of him coming back. That
Yeah,
seems kind
I
of
don't think he's back
out of
until the
place.
end. I don't think he's back until the end of summer though.
Jason Jordan comes back and ruins it for Seth Rollins.
Oh, my
He's like, damn it,
God.
Jason, again.
Well, I mean, hey, he's apparently ready and waiting, so maybe
They did have a pretty good thing going on where he was just being an asshole.
They were
and
tag
Seth was-
champions.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Seth was like, Jason, you moron.
yeah. I don't know. Well, I just can't see it being a 1-on-1. And actually, there's rumors out there saying that they don't. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be a 1-on-1.
There's something else going on.
There has to be.
There's more to this than season.
There's no way
Especially just
McIntyre-
to go from that Iron Man match and just be like, I got my match at SummerSlam. I got an IC title shot against Dolph Ziggler. That's new. That's fresh.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to be something else.
Yeah, there's something else. I thought that immediately.
I like the whole thing though.
Oh, it's very enjoyable.
Dolph is relevant to
I'm
me
all
again.
in.
Seth is still top of the. I mean, maybe Seth doesn't seem as important anymore, like he did even a couple weeks ago when he had the belt. But
It's okay. He's
It's
still
still
burning it down.
okay,
He's still
yeah.
burning it down. Friend of the show, Kevin Mickey, the first thing he said about Raw the night before was like, I didn't care anything about Raw, but I'm very much all in, fully invested with the Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre pairing.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
Drew's so good as a heel. He's so good as a heel.
He's so big.
He's a big dude.
I want him and Braun to wrestle.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
because they're both huge and they can both move.
Speaking of Braun, when Kevin Owens tries to steal the briefcase,
Amazing.
but why?
I don't know.
What's the point of stealing the briefcase? It doesn't give you the title opportunity.
Symbolism.
Braun's got the briefcase. You take the briefcase. Who
Well,
cares?
no, the idea was that because Brock was in the building, he wanted to steal the briefcase, so Braun physically didn't have it to cash in before his match at SummerSlam.
Why would you do that? Because you have a match with the guy who would be champion at SummerSlam if he were to win the title.
Well, because maybe then it would.
It's like, I don't want a title shot at SummerSlam.
Maybe it would negate that match.
I just didn't see the logic.
I mean, man,
there.
it's a
I didn't understand.
storyline. Shut up. Just
I
like it.
felt
all right?
like it kind of
just like it. All right.
And for Kevin to come out and be seen doing it, like he's very entertaining and funny, but he kind of looked like a bumbling idiot.
He
It
was
was like the
trying
Pink
to
Panther
sneak.
bullshit. He's like,
He was trying to sneak directly beside the ring that
Yeah.
Braun was wrestling in.
What a moron!
Yeah, I liked it.
It was
made me
funny,
laugh.
but whatever.
I mean, it was still stupid, sure. And
was
then
all
Braun
part-
gets the count out, and Jinder celebrates like he won the Rumble. But
Yeah, by count out. It was all part and parcel of why Raw was just kind of shitty, holding place for
know. I
real
love
good
KO.
wrestling on this this occasion. But
I
see like Braun Strowman and Jinder Mahal wrestling all the way until SummerSlam too.
Yeah,
Just
I can
over
see
and
them.
over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shoddy. Anyway, that was some
yeah.
shoddy wrestling. Is Alexa Bliss really the best thing we can get for Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam right now?
You know what's crazy to me is 2 months ago, I loved Alexa Bliss. I loved her character. I thought she was decent in the ring, decent enough.
But it has limitations.
And
let's
it's
be honest.
gone. Like, I don't think it's good anymore. And I think it's because
Rousey's such a strong personality. Well, not personality, but such a strong presence in the ring that the Alexa Bliss personality isn't enough to carry it.
yeah, and I think we've just seen this from Alexa now. So she can't just keep giving the same promo about, oh, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think we've just seen it for so long that we almost need a break from it.
I just feel like for a match at SummerSlam to be like Ronda's first pay-per-view singles match,
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss isn't quite the level I would expect of competition.
No, and you just know we're going to get 50-50 booking on it as well, rather than it being like a 2-minute squash match,
Now we're
which
getting
it should
Alicia
be.
Fox in this angle too, and like
They had to give Ronda a Raw match, though, right?
Sure,
So,
sure. All the power to Foxy. She's been around forever. But this chick annoys the hell out of me.
yeah.
I know she's supposed to.
She's crazy. She's supposed
I
to.
get
but
that
whatever.
that's the character, but I feel like if I were producing those segments and she gave me that, I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, okay, but can we do that again? Just like better. Every time I'd be like that because I don't feel like.
It's live, Andrew.
No, those are pre-tapes.
It's live.
Every time she did something, I'd just be like, okay, that was just like off-putting. It wasn't really funny. Let's just
Yeah.
do something else than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
probably being
It's just
too
the
critical.
easiest way to put Ronda in the ring against someone that you know she's just going to destroy, and give her that.
That's pretty much
Raw
everybody
match,
at this
right?
point, though.
You would hope so. Yes.
The weird thing is on Raw right now with like Asuka on SmackDown and like Becky Lynch and Charlotte and everybody on SmackDown, like who is there other than like a Nia Jax that's a believable one-on-one opponent for Ronda on Raw right now? Natalia?
Shayna Baszler, if she comes up.
Well, yeah, but on like
But
right
on
now,
Raw right now,
is
I
there
don't know.
ready for SummerSlam?
I mean, it depends on
Is
if
it really Alexa Bliss the only one?
It depends on. I mean, Natty could probably wrestle her.
Well, I forget about Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah, but they're
Sasha
a tag
Banks and
team now.
Bayley feel like a legit, competition, but they're
a
mired
tag
in this
team.
weird tag team
Yeah.
situation. It's kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. They'll do something. It's just I don't know if they're like you said. There is someone that's believable, but I feel like Natty, if there is some sort of turn, Natty's good enough to have a decent match with
Oh
Ronda.
yeah, she's good enough.
She trained her, right? She taught Ronda everything she knows. So that's where I could see that going.
Want to talk about the Boss and Hug connection?
Briefly.
What'd
They
you
have
think of
matching
this?
gear. I like it.
They
Move
matched
on.
their gear.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know what? I will say, as a tag team, they actually look good.
Sure.
Like, it looks very coordinated, which is obviously it is because they talk about it.
It's wrestling.
But at least it looks good and it's quick and it's powerful and they match. And that's
Who
all I
better
have
to
say.
squash than the Riot Squad?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously. It's going to happen.
It's
Whatever.
going to happen.
It'll happen again.
I think the name sucks.
Boss and Hug Connect, or
yeah,
Boss and Hug.
It's not
connection.
even easy to say.
Yeah.
Boss and Hug connection.
Is it
sounds
Boss
like
and
you're
or
saying
Boss Hug, like Boss Hog?
Boss and Hug sounds like you're slurring the word Boston.
Yeah, Boston Hug.
The Boss and Hug connection. Oh yeah, it's the fucking Boss and Hug connection.
You should get Kurt out there to try and say it.
The Boss and Hug connection.
Hey, speaking of that, did you hear Kurt really slow down and say WWE this week?
Well done, Kurt. Let's,
yeah.
Wait, that was wonderful.
All right, let's attack.
Thank you,
behind.
WWE. Shit.
WWE.
You got a match next week against the Haas and One connection. The Rug and Haas connect. The Boss and Floss connect. Sasha and Bailey.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, unless they're going to introduce.
What the hell are these two going to do at SummerSlam?
Unless they're going to introduce a tag team like division for the women, there still has to be a turn here somewhere. Otherwise, it just seems weird.
Yeah.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
Gotta
Wait
give
and
them,
see.
Got to give them TV time, I suppose.
We'll
you know
wait
what
and
would
see.
be sick, though? And hear me out a little bit. This might be a little, this is going to be hot takey.
Sounds like it's going to be radical.
This is going to be a little radical.
Okay, go. I'm ready for it. My body is ready.
Charlotte and Becky throughout the match get on each other. Carmella wins. Keeps the title.
Carmella.
In SummerSlam, the SmackDown title. It's a triple threat. So somehow they wrestle or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
And then obviously you have Sasha and Bayley. I don't know how you make Charlotte and Becky friends yet. I haven't gone that far. But what if they do introduce that tag team championship and we get the 4 horsewomen together?
Yeah, that's fine.
I
feel like we all think that's what's happening at Evolution anyway. Did you see Marina Shafir? Shafir? Is it Shafir? Schaefer?
I don't know.
Anyway, she had her NXT debut as well.
Oh, yes,
So
that's right.
Her and then the other
Yeah.
lady whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce right now, the blonde one, the tall blonde one.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was like gentleman
Yeah. We all know who you're talking about.
Jesselniak. I'm Kurt Angling this right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Braun Strowman.
Other than that, I don't know what they're going to do
Mahal.
with Becky or with Bayley and Sasha unless there's still got to be a turn somewhere if they're not going to introduce tag belts. That's all. That's all. That's it. Move on. We've talked way too long.
Like at this point, if they're not wrestling at SummerSlam, what the hell are we doing?
They got cool new gear, man. Think of the merch.
Oh yeah.
Gold mine.
Ooh, yeah.
All the little kids.
Ooh yeah.
All right.
By the way, worst thing that happened all week on WWE television: the Lashley and Elias segment.
Oh man, I know.
How bad?
I hate it
Poor
because
Lashley.
Elias is so good.
And Lashley had some real momentum coming out of that Roman Reigns thing, and just to come out and be like, tweet, Rockin' Rob, and his mic was off.
So bad.
He just has a habit of coming out there, just like with the Sammy thing, where he's supposed to be like going along with what people are doing and just like smiling and being all happy-go-lucky, and it's just the weirdest thing ever. It's the strangest dynamic. And then like Elias, in just a total fabricated way, decides to attack him for stealing his moment. I don't know. It was just the most contrived thing ever.
Very forced.
It was forced.
Very forced. Like we got to get Lashley on TV.
Yeah. Also, speaking of forced, apparently this week the B in B team stands for bitches, because they just straight up were like, "Oh, you probably want these guys, right?" And then like peaced out.
B stands for dream. I love this, and I don't know if. Oh my God! I almost called him Kurt Hawkins.
No, Kurt Hawkins was busy in the jobber locker room just
my
taping
God.
Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley getting it on.
Anyways, whatever. I can't even. I'm totally stumbling on his name, having a complete brain cramp. Doesn't matter. But I feel like he's stumbling over his words on purpose, or he's stumbling over his words because he can't deliver a damn promo. But
Right.
even on commentary afterwards, oh my God, why am I having such a?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
Doesn't
to it. I was
matter.
writing
You know
stuff down.
what? I like the B team. Deletas of World. Are they just done?
I don't know.
When was
They
the last
lost.
time they won?
They lost to the Revival.
So is the Revival #1 contenders now?
I mean, they already were. So
were they actually?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were sort of backstage watching last week, and we were like, they had just beaten Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, so everybody knew that they were sort of
Twice.
Yeah, they were in line. So whatever. I don't know.
I like
don't really care.
I like that the Revival won. If they came out just to lose, that would have been poopy.
Yeah. You want to move on to just 2 tweets?
Already?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, it's a quick one for us. Let's do it.
Well, we're already 52 minutes in, so not
God
really.
damn. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
The following segment was paid for by the ADCs of wrestling.
Hey yo,
This is just two tweets.
Two tweets.
All right, first off, I just want to say shout out to Stu in St. Louis, who was talking to me about how the Steve song had brightened his day, but he also told me that his daughter was undergoing some surgeries, and that was like a good distraction for him. So I just want to say best of luck.
Yeah,
and I
all
hope
the
she's
best.
doing well, man. You
Absolutely.
know, all the members of the foundation, tweet your support to Stu in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
He's a good lad. Hey guys, it's ADC. Sorry to interrupt the show. I just have to make a quick correction. It's actually Sean in St. Louis. I don't know why I said Stu. I guess I was thinking about my buddy Stu, who we brought up on the show earlier, and I feel really bad about it. So sorry, Sean. Back to the show. You know, I never really thought about the fact that doing this podcast could, you know, make people's day brighter. And that's kind of an awesome
It's
thing.
pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Even though it's just a stupid podcast where, you know, just a couple guys talk about wrestling dicks.
Well, at least we don't have any more of those damn YouTube songs.
No, there's no more. There will be no more.
Perfect.
Thank God. So I'm going to kind of do this guerrilla style again this week. I'm just going to the old Twitter machine, punching in hashtag just two tweets, as it should be, and seeing what we get.
You were really not prepared.
I actually had a full rundown prepared this week, okay? I just didn't do the just two tweets thing because I was busy cleaning my house before the show. Here we go. Scott Derbyshire says, Zelina Vega did lose a match against Asuka. The reason for the hate on the last tweet was from one of Elias's songs. I know you guys like catchy hashtags. Hashtag foundation, hashtag just two tweets. Yeah, I remember that. So many stupid people punch them all in the face. So that was just an Elias line that went over my head.
Yep. Same.
Raider Max, who changed his name to Raider Max the Constant because that's what we called him last week, said Raider Max the Constant. I like that. Foundation Pride, just two tweets. Steve O, I've been slacking with my hashtag just two tweets this last week. I've become a part-timer. And then he put a gif of Brock Lesnar. Just winking at the camera.
Man, I really got to check out that hashtag more. I rely on you too much for this.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff there.
There's going to be a couple repeats in here because I'm just going down the line. I'm reading them all right now.
Let's see.
I'm reading just two this week. Too many. Beef at Pele Beef says, I hear that The Rock may be available for next WrestleMania. I'm also hearing, if it's true, it may be against Roman Reigns. How do you guys feel about this? The big dog. I think it would be off the charts awesome. Hashtag just two tweets. Said in Scott Hall's voice. One tweet is all I got.
I think it's interesting. I mean, The Rock has very clearly talked about loving his time in the ring and wanting to come back at least one more time. I mean, look at the guy. It's not like he's old and out of shape and struggling.
I think him and Roman or him and Triple H is the way to go. Him and Roman would at least be...
I don't want to see him and Triple H again and again.
No,
and
I know.
and again.
It would be interesting. Him and Roman would be... They could build in a good storyline there, a family storyline. But, like, let's not kid ourselves. The Rock is not a great in-ring performer anymore. He like tore his quad giving Big Red a freaking rock bottom at WrestleMania in Texas.
True, but I mean, he's going to draw no matter what.
Oh, he's going to draw.
I do find it interesting that Elias has been calling him out on Twitter, but also then kind of made reference to him and called him out on Raw this week. So there was some speculation like, oh, is Rock going to be there in his hometown of Miami, that sort of thing? And obviously, no, of course he was not. But it's interesting that they're pulling The Rock's name into the show with this speculation. So they're either doing it because the rumors are out there or they're doing it to actually lead to something, which is interesting.
Interesting. Scott Derbyshire again says, every time ADC and Matt the Mark talk about Bailey's heel turn, I think about the episode of Bob's Burgers, where someone messes Tina's name up. Hashtag just two tweets, hashtag front ponytail. I'm down with anybody who hashtags front pony.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I did see that one. He's got the picture of Tina and Dina, right? Yeah, I did see that. That's good.
They messed up my name. I'm pissed. Raider Max again. This one's kind of fun. With the NFL season just around the corner, if you could choose a wrestler, assuming they're good at it, to play for your favorite team, who would it be and what position would they play? I'd have True Kofi playing DB for the Raiders. Matt, are you still a Dolphins fan?
No.
I
am no longer an NFL fan.
I'm really not at all either.
Political reasons on top of I just don't really care about football anymore.
Yeah, the league's kind of trash these days.
I'm not going to get political.
It's all about
I'm not going to get political.
Protocol and stuff. Well,
I just think the game is boring. The fact that there's really only about 8 minutes total of football played within a span of 4 hours. When I was younger, I loved football. And as I've grown up, I just can't watch it anymore.
You're turning off our audience. There it is. Just political tweets, straight up shitting on the NFL.
It's just my opinion. I just can't watch it. I've actually started watching more basketball than football. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. I think it's faster game.
I get it.
My opinion. In terms of who I would have play a certain position, Braun Strowman as a running back. Just watch those little legs just going.
Just
lower
running,
that shoulder.
running through the field just like he runs around the outside of the ring and smash people. Just like he destroyed my house for months and months.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Speaking of
let's have. Like, can I answer the fucking question?
No. We
For
missed
fuck's sake.
terrible camera work on his running shoulder tackle on the Singh brother there.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
I wanted to see that one because he's so little.
I did want to see that too.
Okay, move on. You go ahead.
I used to be an Eagles fan. Don't really watch anymore. But if I were, let's just put Brock Lesnar as defensive back on the Eagles.
That's too on the nose. You're the worst.
You suck. You
Like,
wouldn't even let me answer the
He
question.
used to play in the NFL.
That's why I would have him on an NFL team.
I want to see Baron Corbin on the line. You're an idiot.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Sorry.
All right, Chris Jericho, quarterback for the Eagles.
Yeah, okay. His play calling would be pretty great. You're an idiot on one.
Greatest audible ever.
Too much fun with that one.
Yeah.
We should probably move on.
Stu Little at SL Fricky says, can you think of a more nonsensical plot device that WWE has come up with than Paul Heyman being under contract to WWE even though he works for Brock? Also, did you know JBL considered joining the clergy as a young man? Can you imagine? No, I can't imagine that. That's true. I thought about it when I was a kid, but, greater things have happened,
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think I've ever really considered Paul Heyman having a contract with WWE, even though it's obviously the most logical thing. I just never
but he's saying
thought of
that
it
it's
that
not.
way.
It makes more sense for Paul Heyman to have a contract with Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's what I mean. I've always assumed that, but
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is also an employee of WWE, so obviously so is Heyman.
But I guess the old school manager logic would be that the manager was managing a stable of performers and they worked for WWE.
Okay.
And in turn, they were there representing their clients. But as
Sure.
Brock Lesnar's advocate, Paul Heyman should work for Brock Lesnar, not the WWE.
Sure. But maybe they leak this in because now Paul Heyman will keep his contract and be the manager for someone else after this.
Jeff Willis says, can we just take a minute to talk about Randy Orton's ear fingering fetish? How has no one talked about this yet?
Because it's disgusting and I don't want it in my dreams anymore. I'm sick of waking up in the middle of the night crying.
My ear fingering fetish just kind of came out of nowhere. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm going to finger the shit out of your ear hole.
All right. Well, now we're getting weird.
I used to try to stretch my earlobes out a little bit, and then I kind of gave up. It just hurt. It was hurting, and I was like, what?
Were you just like at home pulling on them?
No. I did the thing with like the little tubes, like the little spikes.
Did you really?
Yeah, for like a month. And it just like, I was like not feeling it.
Were we not friends at this time? I don't remember you ever doing that.
I was just at home, hanging out, doing my thing.
Just sitting around trying to stretch your ears out?
This would have been like
Ow.
6 years ago. And
Ow!
we probably weren't hanging out much.
Ow!
All right, this is going off the rails. Matt at Matt Hill tweets says, so will Becky continue to be a modern Sting and get stabbed in the back by Charlotte down the line? Or will they finally turn Becky heel just as she builds herself back up as top face? Hashtag just 2 tweets. P.S. Why is chicken shit heel Carmella kicking out of the natural selection? I don't know. That bothered me too.
Yeah, same. Totally agree with that. That should have been the end of it. I know they wanted to get the figure 8 in there, but
I knew it was going to happen too.
Oh,
she
of
took the
course.
natural selection. I was like, this isn't the end of the match. She's going to kick out of this,
Yeah.
and that's bullshit. And she did.
Yeah. Especially since like Charlotte uses that so few and far between to actually end matches when she can't get the figure 8 in. So yeah, it was dumb. Good call out.
As far as the heel face dynamic, I like the callback to the Sting and Ric Flair being turned on.
Very
But
good.
Yes, we always talk about how Charlotte's better as a heel, but in this situation, it would be kind of fun to see Becky Lynch turn heel because always playing second fiddle to Charlotte is not her jam.
And you know what? She doesn't even almost have to turn like full heel. She just has to kind of get angry, right?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to go full heel and start attacking Charlotte from behind and stuff
Playing
like
the middle
that.
ground's not as fun. Go all the way.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I think people will still love Becky no matter what.
So you could be the Irish lasshole. Ryan Connolly at Ryan Connolly 20 says, thank you to Basement Steve for beating up that wealthy, successful guy from last week. I guess that's my boy Stuart A. Thompson, who got his ass whipped by Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? You think you work at the Times? What? You think you work for a newspaper? What? You think you got digital savvy? What? You just got your ass whipped, son.
That's a strong opinion.
But why do you guys think that AJ Styles' WWE champ has been essentially a side attraction match on every pay-per-view card? I think it's just because his matches are kind of safe. There's nothing particularly like really overly engaging until now with the title matches that they've had set up. And Daniel Bryan, he's just the guy. He's the guy, and it's too strong of a force to, kind of derail. And then that the Universal title, despite being a newer title and despite them saying that the WWE Championship is the prestigious one, that's the one that they think is most important right now.
Yeah.
Or I think is most important right now, pal. Goddamn.
The Universal title.
I think you touched on it perfectly.
The champion of the universe.
I think you touched on I think you touched on it perfectly there, is that Daniel Bryan is the top guy on SmackDown. And
top guy.
Even though he doesn't have the belt, he's going to get that main event spot, which means AJ's just has to be second. Which sucks.
Klondike Dan says, hashtag just two tweets, favorite SummerSlam of all time? Hashtag old school is cool. Hashtag God, I hope this one don't suck. Yes, I hope this one don't suck as well. Man. I mean, you can't go wrong with, was it 91? The Macho Man wedding to Elizabeth? I mean, that stands the test of time.
Yeah,
I think that was 91 with Tony Schiavone on the call.
It's funny because
here in WWE calling the Macho Man, Randy Savage, before I get shit canned and go back down to the South.
It's funny because that there is the big four in terms of pay-per-views with Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. For whatever reason, and I don't know if it's just because it's in the summer, I never view SummerSlam as a top pay-per-view. I don't know why.
Dude, SummerSlam is the WrestleMania for the marks.
I know, but
You're Matt the Mark.
I know.
It's WrestleMania for you.
I understand your stupid sayings, but
You just sit around wrestling with your dick all the time? I'm not going to let you get away with this statement, Matt the Mark.
Boy.
Another great SummerSlam 2002, Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, was it SummerSlam 2000 when they had the second TLC match? I think it was. There's a lot of SummerSlam moments, man. There's a lot of
There's some good moments for sure. I don't know.
Highway to Hell, 99?
I never get into SummerSlam
Austin versus Undertaker, what the fuck?
Yeah, damn, Kit, 97. Bret Hart, Undertaker. Oof.
There's some good stuff. There's some actually really good stuff. I don't know. I've never, for whatever reason, I just have never gotten into SummerSlam as much.
Well, you can suck it, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mary Carr says, with SummerSlam just around the corner, I can't help comparing Ciampa Black Gargano to HBK Brett Taker when HBK cost Taker the title after Brett spit in his face. Thoughts? Not bad. Not bad. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Brooklyn, and I think that triple threat match, even though it hasn't been announced, is going to be quite good.
That's not a bad comparison. You got the parallels.
It's pretty
you
good,
got
actually.
Other Black is kind of the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Gargano is kind of like the little baby face, and then Ciampa's just a shit-talking heel, who I guess would be maybe HBK in this situation. Kind of.
It's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. One last here. Raider Max again said, if Charlotte fights Asuka at WrestleMania, who is the best opponent for Becky? Does Asuka get another shot, or do we see a women switch shows? So Charlotte at WrestleMania again. Becky probably honestly just ends up in the women's battle royal. She's not going to get a singles program aside from the main singles program.
Most women don't get a singles program unless it's the title.
Yeah.
So, other than what Evolution will be.
Unfortunately, I think that's the case.
Yep.
Evolution is a pay-per-view.
I just had to do that again because you said Evolution. If you enjoyed the show, go to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever thing you're listening to the show on that has the quality pods on it, because that's where we're found everywhere you can find your quality podcast entertainment. We are the best award-winning podcast that ain't won a damn thing, son. Subscribe. Leave a 5-star rating. Tell your friends about the ADCs of wrestling. Tell us about ADCW. Tell them how you love the show about wrestling dicks. I am Andrew David Cox on Twitter. I'm now at ADCs of Wrestling on Instagram.
What are you on YouTube?
I am. I don't want to talk about it. And also, my Facebook name is now facebook.com/ADCs of Wrestling. So eventually, I'll be able to say everything is at ADCs of Wrestling once I fix the name of the YouTube channel.
What's the name of the YouTube channel again?
Just
for the people that don't know.
The ADCs of Wrestling Cox.
Cool.
But it's also still youtube.com/Andrew David Cox. So let's go with that for now.
Sorry.
Seriously, guys, if you've been listening for a long time and you haven't left a review on iTunes or anything, it would really, really do us a solid if you just left a 5-star review, because I liken it to a party. If you're somebody new who shows up at a party, you want to be at a party where lots of people are hanging out and celebrating. You don't want to be at a party with, no one there.
And if the house is big enough, bring friends.
Yeah.
Wait,
Tell
what are
all
we
your
talking
wrestling,
about?
but I don't know.
Oh,
Let's party.
yeah.
He's Matt the Markiest on Twitter. I'm Andrew David Cox. We'll see you next week. Ball game.
Peace.
That's the end of the show about dicks. YouTube is your leader. Don't defy